Last night, the Cavs-Bucks game was, honestly, the Bucks were on life support. They might need to call Jace Medical after what happened.
They need antibiotics.
Last night, the Cavs won by 40, their largest margin of victory. It was 23-2 after 4 minutes. G, I was at the game. I know you watched. Do you want to start with your thoughts? I want to do a little bit on the game and then a little bit on Amazon purchasing a stake in Bally's and what that could mean for fans of the Cavs and Guardians moving forward.
First and foremost, listen, the Milwaukee Bucks, I don't like how they looking. Obviously they got some Damian Lillard hit a big time, three a couple of days ago, buzzer beater, but the defensive approach that they got, the Bucks have fallen 2-3 ranks. And I know that they're trying to figure it out for the postseason, but I just don't like the way they look. Chris Middleton is taking 2 or 3 steps back. Dame is not as explosive as I once saw him. And Giannis is complaining, talking about, I don't know what we're doing, defensively, and they got a new coach. So I don't know how all that rolls into it. But
did Jimmy hire that coach?
He might have, because he looked confused. They got smoked, and it wasn't even close. Now, here's what I do want to say. Shout out to Donovan Mitchell, man. We be trying to trade this man for about 5-6 weeks now. He came out with intention, and he played his tail off. To me, it's not even close. Donovan Mitchell is way better than Darius Garland. I'm just going, I just feel like he's.
Is there any debate?
I don't think anybody thought that.
Good.
There's no debate.
No, there never was.
He's a super. Here we go.
But the problem is, and I've seen people lately say, just trade Garland. Well, you can't because Donovan's going to leave. Yeah. Whether it's this season, at the end of next year, or the year after.
Garland's the future because Mitchell is not.
Right.
And he's spectacular. Like Donovan Mitchell, when he gets into, we got to give some flowers. When he gets into that mode where he's like, I'm going to get to the rack and I'm going to get here, and he starts playing aggressively from the jump, I got to give it to Jarrett Allen. Jarrett Allen been playing out his mind. I've called that man out all last year. See, that's the difference between me and y'all. See, y'all don't come back. My takes when they're horrible, when I tell you're garbage or you're not playing well, they like over the top. So if you balling, I got to give you over the top love. Fair. He's been magnificent. He's been aggressive. He's been dominant on the boards. He's been he's been aggressive. He's been looking for a shot. He's been physical. Shout out to Jarrett Allen. I think they found a new and JB Bickerstaff. We've been trying to get rid of you for weeks too, and you slowly but surely have the hottest team in the league.
What about Max Strus?
We can't talk about the game yesterday. They're talking about George Niang, who put in a career.
30 points.
33 points.
That's my bad. I said Max Strus and I meant George Niang.
Yeah, Niang, that was the best performance we've seen out of him.
That's the best of his career.
Since he's had a Cavs uniform on. And
career high.
To your point on Jarrett Allen, he's going to probably break the record for the most straight double-doubles by a Cavalier. I think he's 1 shy now, so he needs 2 more to break the record. I'm going to say this, and I know everybody's going to look at me like I'm absolutely nuts. I think we need a move at the deadline. I can't trade Darius because of what you said, but I can trade Mobley. And I have come to the realization that this team can get a haul for Mobley. I know it hurts, and every time I ask anybody in the know, is he going to be traded, everybody tells me the same thing. Oh, no, he's off limits. Here's what I've seen in his absence. Better ball movement, better team basketball. We don't need 2 of him, and we have 2 of him, and I just haven't seen the progression. Now, we might trade him, and he might grow into that superstar that we thought he was going to. But there's also a chance that he's hit his ceiling, and this is who he is. Because I've seen it for too many years in a row now. This is, I thought for sure we'd see a step forward this year. I haven't seen it. I have seen it from Jarrett Allen. So, to me, he is a piece, and a big piece. We can get a nice haul for him, and look what we've done without him. 14-3.
Now, they haven't beaten anybody, right, Mike? Is that fair?
No, they haven't.
They've played a relatively weaker schedule, but with that being said, their best version of the team this year is 1 big and 4 shooters.
Without question.
And Jarrett Allen plays the 1 big role significantly better than Mobley does.
But
now,
you still said that, but Mike, and I agree, and I actually agree with Jay too. And you said that to me before the show, and I said, well, why not trade Mobley then? And you said no.
Everybody that Jason looks at me when I say that. No, he's not going anywhere. He is here.
I think it's one of those situations, Jay, where theoretically speaking, in a vacuum, yes, it makes sense. But in the big picture, and I'm gonna ask this question tomorrow of whether or not you think it. So let's wait till tomorrow. But whether or not you think it's the midway point of the season, are the Cavs legitimate contenders or not? Are they in that small bubble of teams that you would not
we'll
be
hold that
shocked?
thought for tomorrow.
And the reason I ask that, and you can think about this for that conversation, if you think they could be in that small bubble, then maybe you do push all your chips in. If you don't think you are, do you push a Mobley chip in when you're still on the outside looking in?
If you don't think you are, and you don't move proactively to get into that small bubble, then why are we here? So we can finish fourth again?
It's a fair question.
Right now, we're in the 4 and the Knicks are in the 5. Guess where that's headed?
We've seen that story before.
And everybody talks about the Browns. Hey, we got to shake it up. We got to make changes. This wasn't good enough. So key coaches were fired. There will be key personnel decisions made. Same thing with the Cavs. They don't get a pass. We weren't happy with how things ended last year. It's the equivalent to the way the Browns season went. You were super excited going into the playoffs, and then someone stuck a broomstick into your front spokes, and you went flying off the bicycle.
Now, they did make changes to the roster.
They made changes to the roster. However, to Mike's question, and I won't give the answer, all I will say is, because I'm going to answer your question the way I'm going to answer it, I'm not going to just sit here and hope that have different results. That's the definition of insanity.
Yeah. Well, the other teams, they're sitting in 4th right now, but here's the problem.
They're 5 games from being out of the playoffs,
yes.
or not even 5 games.
And if the playoffs started, they could lose to anybody. Like, you got the Celtics, Bucks, 76ers. We all know that they're good. But then you got the Knicks at 5. The Heat are back at 6. The Pacers just got Pascal Siakam. And the Magic were a hot team in the beginning of the season, but the Magic give the Cavs the business. It's in a bad matchup.
The Magic are huge.
Beyond even the first round, Mike, is there any chance that the Cavs could win a series against Philly, Boston, or Milwaukee in the playoffs?
That's possible.
You think so?
It's possible,
I mean,
yes. It's possible. Because to say no, you'd have to be 100% certain that they can't.
Is it possible like 1 out of 10 times?
I think it's unlikely, Mike.
Here's the dilemma with if you traded Mobley situation. The teams in the East are all giant.
I know.
And this NBA season, if it's proven anything, it's that bigs are kind of back in. Now, they're multifaceted unicorn bigs who aren't staple to the paint, which isn't necessarily the Cavs' 2 bigs. However, it is tough to win. Let's say Jarrett Allen gets in foul trouble if Damian James is your backup center at that point, if you want to go 4 and 1 out. Like, that's a tough – and you obviously would get a big back for Mobley if that's the move you wanted to go. But there's hesitations about getting rid of your 2 bigs in a year where the bigs have dominated basketball.
Why can't they just stagger them? Bring Jarrett Allen off the bench. You could still run one out and 5 in. You still got shooters around him coming off the bench. Karis LeVert's playing a lot of minutes. Merrill's playing a lot of minutes.
Merrill could hoop, by the way.
Right.
He's not just a shooter. He could hoop.
They let Dean Wade shoot 12 threes now. They just let him. Dean Wade got the green light now. He just pulls up because they play him 1 big and 4 out. So why not just move him to the bench? Here's what's gonna be interesting. What happens when Darius Garland gets back and he needs to rock?
Listen, as much as I hear what you're saying, to Bull's point, you cannot move him. Maybe I don't know that you bring him off.
If you move him, you're basically starting over.
You are, because
you're making 1 run this year and then you're starting over.
Unless you can do this, and then I would go another step further. You talk about a nuclear day. I bring Mitchell in and I say, we want an extension or we're going to move you immediately. What is it? Feet to fire.
Yeah. He'll probably say, move me.
Then bye-bye.
Yeah, right.
It's the inevitable. It's going to happen. Then get something for him.
But you say, go ahead.
If he says, talk to me about this extension, what do we look like moving forward?
Yeah.
We're going to move Darius and Mobley and get a haul for them.
Here's another thing, too, McNuggets.
Now, I might get fired as the general manager, but I don't think this team is going to win. I don't think this team is winning a championship as Constantine.
It's a tricky spot.
Here's the thing, McNuggets. If you want a max deal now, it's only a couple places you're going to get a max deal at. Everybody's locked up. Oh, you can't just dip into the luxury tax like that.
Right.
Like
and it's hard to move those deals, too, with the second luxury. So
and that's the key.
The Garland thing not only is I mean, you don't want to trade Darius Garland. He's a phenomenal player. But in the hypothetical world where you were to trade Darius Garland, there aren't a lot of teams that could absorb a $50 million salary without going to that second luxury tax. So
and and it's a very good point. But and that might be the league's response or answer to the players controlling where the movement happens.
Guys, do we know how TV ratings are for the NBA this year?
I haven't seen.
I'm not sure. But the Amazon thing is that's what you're getting at, Bull, is going to change how.
Well, I don't think we really have time to talk about it now. We should probably.
We'll save that. Yeah, right. We'll save that. You're right.
I was just going to say.
We'll give the news because we've teased it. The news is that Amazon buys Bally's.
Right. But they're not getting the Guardians as part of this.
Which doesn't make sense to me. I thought when I first heard the news they were.
The idea of the Cavs and Guardians being on Amazon, I was very excited. And then I read that the Guardians have nothing to do with this deal.
Oh, okay. I don't like it
understand
nearly
what's
as much
going on.
then. I don't like it nearly as much.
Yeah, I mean, the Cavs might be, but like you could, right now, I can't watch the Guardians. I'm gonna have to figure it out by baseball season.
Right.
Because I have YouTube TV. I can't even if I get the MLB extra innings, it's blacked out here. You know, I can't watch the Guardians.
No, here's your only way to get them.
Is DirecTV.
You got to go to DirecTV and get the package.
Right.
Or, now, if I'm not mistaken, you can get a streaming package through MLB of any team.
No.
You can buy that, and
No, I in the past have gotten MLB extra innings so I could watch the Cubs. You know, the Guardians.
But you get all the games.
Right, but the Guardians get blacked out.
It's blacked out locally.
Yeah.
I didn't know
It's
that.
just
I've
like
never had that package. Well, then you're going to have to get Spectrum, or who's your cable provider?
I use YouTube TV.
No, I know, but who is the provider in your area?
It's Cox, but I don't want to spend $200 just for the Guardians.
Well, no, you won't have to. You'll get the bare minimum package, and here's what I did, because I was in that dilemma. I can't be without Guardians games, no way. I got the bare minimum package from my cable company, which is Spectrum.
Yeah.
I also get my home internet through them.
Well, that's what I get my internet. I get my internet through DirecTV, AT&T.
Okay, so what I used to be DirecTV too.
Yeah.
I switched from that to Spectrum and saved money.
Couldn't the Guardians theoretically just say, this is the Guardians network?
MLB wants that.
It's still up in the air right now. Major League Baseball has got to make their games more accessible.
They do. It's poor right now, and I'm really disappointed to hear that detail about the Amazon
Right. If
deal.
I could pay $10 a month or $15 a month just to watch the Guardians on Amazon.
But to me, it tells me that Amazon wanted it. That's the property to have. But MLB is telling, no, we're not going to do that. MLB ultimately wants to have what you're talking about with all the teams.
According to this deal, and it's not been finalized yet, Amazon would get some of the baseball pack.
But not every game.
But no. Some
Not
of
every
the
team.
teams.
Oh, I see.
But not the Guardians.
Yeah,
and
I
not
don't like
the Rangers.
that. I don't understand
it's all
that
still
at
a
all.
mess.
Okay, we have super chats.
Couple super chats. We read one earlier. Gerald Jack says, Stump's gone. Why? Which we talked about earlier in the interview. Deuce Staley. Gerald, if you missed that, go back. We had a whole conversation about that. Dontavius Winston says, I want to be top 5 in pre-snap motion. Great ones do it. Well, the couple guys we did mention as potential offensive coordinator candidates would be guys who bring a lot of pre-snap motion to the table. Bevel comes from Miami, number 1. Robinson from L.A., number 2. And last one, Taylor Summer says, I know you guys are more Brown Center, but now that the season's over, would love to hear some more Cavs and Guardians talk. Let's go, Cavs.
You
Taylor,
will.
you're in luck.
Yeah.
I promise you it's coming.
Oh yeah, that's all. It's a forced pivot too. Like I had to dust my Bally's app off. I said, let me go log into this Bally. See, they got a little $20 streaming package. Actually, my dad hit me up, hey man, what's going on with the Bally's playing? I was like, yeah, man, let me go ahead and pay that.
ESPN and ABC, NBA viewership
game.
up 16%. We don't have time to talk about it, but go ahead. Go ahead, Mike.
That was it.
All right.
All super chats.
Okay, by the way, as all the talk that we had about how we don't like these coaching firings, we have to give the Browns the benefit of the doubt. Now, everybody was screaming Joe Woods had to go last year.
Yep.
But they got that one right.
Oh,
They brought
yeah.
in. So if the organization brings in the equivalent of Jim Schwartz, we'll be the first to applaud that move. And then we'll wait and see what it looks like on the field next year.